Hey, what is going on YouTube? Welcome back to another video. In today's video, I want to talk about why we will not see Starfield at this year's E3. Now guys, if you watched the earlier video, you know I kind of talked about and I kind of given you, or I kind of compiled all the information and all the hints that we have that Starfield might be at this year's E3, and I put that all into a video earlier. So if you watch that, you'll know what I'm talking about. But for those of you who don't know what I'm talking about, earlier I made a video, I compiled all the information, all the hints and rumors, and I kind of compiled them into one video where I talked about how Starfield will be coming at this year's E3. However, in this video, I'm doing the exact opposite, and I'm going to be talking about why I do not think Starfield will be at this year's E3. Now guys, I want to say that I'm not 100% certain that we're not going to see it, but in my gut, I feel that we will not see Starfield at this year's E3, and I don't think we'll see Starfield for a very long time. Now, for those of you who don't know what Starfield is, it was a trademark, or is now a trademark name, owned by ZeniMax Incorporated, the same company who owns Bethesda, who owns Bethesda Game Studios and Bethesda Softworks. So odds are we know that Starfield is probably most likely going to be produced by Bethesda Game Studios. However, nothing has been confirmed as of yet. And it's still all rumors and speculations about Starfield. The only thing we know for certain is that it's a trademark name. However, guys, recently a lot of people have been saying that we are going to see Starfield at this year's E3. Like I said earlier, I don't think we will, but there's no 100% way to know for certain until this year's E3. But I don't think so. So guys, let's look at all the big pieces of information that people are talking about that suggest that Starfield might be at this year's E3. Let's start with the most recent one. And this is the Figueroa advertisement which Bethesda Game Studios picked up for Fallout 76. And if you look in the background, you will see three Vault Boys. Well, you'll see three Vault Boys. In the background, you'll see a vault, and in this vault, there is stars. Now, a lot of people are saying, those stars, look at that, that's Starfield. Those stars mean Starfield. It's definitely going to happen. However, guys, I don't think it's just film grain. I think it's just the way the picture was meant to be. I think it was the way it was designed. I mean, if you look at anything out there in the world which has a main picture, if you look at a painting, if you look at your screensaver, you'll see odds are it has one thing in the middle, which is a point of interest, you know, what the whole painting and picture is all about, the purpose for the picture, and then you'll see the background. And honestly, I think this is just the background for the picture. I think the artist who came up with this just thought it looked good and put it like that. I don't think there's any hidden message in the painting that suggests that Starfield will be at E3, like a lot of people are speculating and predicting and kind of taking away from this painting on the side of the building. I think it's just that, a painting. And I just think the artist thought it looked good, or whoever designed this painting thought it looked good and decided to keep it like that. I don't think there's any hidden message inside there or anything like that. Now guys, let's move on to another most recent piece of information which suggests we might see Starfield at this year's E3. Now this piece of information came pretty recently. It was part of NoClip. For those of you who don't know who NoClip is, they produced a 90-minute documentary on Bethesda Game Studios. And in this interview, or in this essentially in this documentary, at the very last minute, the host of the documentary comes out and says, tune back in here after E3 and we'll show you the games that Bethesda Game Studio has been working on. And a lot of people are assuming that since this, and I'll show you the clip right here actually.
So we'll catch up after Bethesda's E3 showcase for an exciting behind-the-scenes deep dive into the new games this studio has been working on.
And you guys seen how he said video games and not game. A lot of people are saying, oh, look at that, he said games and not game, which means Bethesda Game Studios, it has multiple games going on right now, and they're going to show multiple games at this year's E3. However, guys, I don't think this is true. I think this is a simple misspeak, to be honest. I think when he said video games, I think he was referring to Fallout 76 and all the other games that they have done in the past, because it's only a 90-minute documentary. And yeah, they cover some of the games that they did in the past, most of the games that they did in the past, but I don't think they covered everything about those games, and I think we'll see that along with Fallout 76 after E3, when they say that they're going to come out with another documentary. I don't think when he said video games, he meant anything by it. But a lot of people seem to think he did mean something by it. A lot of people think that since he said video games, people are assuming that he meant Fallout 76 and something else, something we haven't seen before, and people are speculating and predicting it's Starfield. But honestly, I don't think it is. I think it was just a simple misspeak. And I think people are reaching way too much because he said video games and not video game. So, yeah. Like I said, I think it was just a simple misspeak. And I think that in the next documentary that we see from them, it'll probably cover Fallout 76 and all the other games from the past. Like Fallout 3, The Elder Scrolls V Skyrim, Fallout 4. I think he meant those games when he said video games and not like Starfield or something. And even if they did show him Starfield, I don't think he would hint at it in this, documentary. I don't think he would have let that slip. But who knows? And a lot of people are also seeming to think that Starfield will be shown off at this year's E3 is because in this documentary as well, we see Todd Howard. And Todd Howard is talking, and he says, when we first started the company, we sat down and we came up with a list of, all the games that we want to make, post-apocalyptic, sci-fi, and then he goes to just mumble on some stuff. And then he's like, I don't want to say anything else. He didn't say anything like that. Here's the clip.
And we made a list. It was basically post-apocalyptic. We had some other worlds, science fiction this, but I could go through the list. But you never know if we'll make them, so I don't want to spoil it.
So while he's rattling off this list, he says, post-apocalyptic and sci-fi. And those are the only two names he gives. And a lot of people seem to be thinking that since he hinted at a sci-fi game in this, interview, that sci-fi game must be Starfield. And people went back and dug up an email from about 20 years ago in which Todd Howard essentially sent. Now, we're not sure if this is Todd Howard who actually sent it, but some people are saying it's Todd Howard, but there is a little bit of proof that it's Todd Howard, but it could all just be made up baloney. But this is from 20 years ago, and I highly doubt somebody will say, hey, look, I found this email from 20 years ago which says this, and I'm pretty sure this is Todd Howard. So this says Todd Howard, and then, you could read that if you want to, but it's really not important. And then it says right here, now a space RPG. That would be something. Todd Howard. So it seems Todd Howard has wanted to make a space RPG or sci-fi game for a very long time. And even though he's expressed interest and maybe has been wanting to do it for a very long time, that doesn't mean it's coming to this year's E3. And I just don't see it happening. I think people are reaching a little too much with this information that has been provided to us. And I think people are just making wild accusations and speculations and predictions off of breadcrumbs, essentially. And to be honest, if Bethesda Game Studios was to produce a space RPG, think about it. It would probably be way later on down the line. Probably the next title that they'll release, we'll probably see it in 2021 or 2022, because Bethesda Game Studios usually releases games every 3 to 4 years, and 3 to 4 years from now will be 2021 to 2022. So we might see Starfield then, created on a new engine, because we know Bethesda Game Studios was looking at people to develop and work on a new engine for them so they could create games. So they probably spent a while trying to build a bigger and better advanced engine, and most likely they would create Starfield with that, because they would be able to do more. Think about it, a space RPG game. If Starfield is a space RPG game, think about it. If you're in space, do you just want to do one planet exploration where you walk around, do some quest, and you look up and you see this beautiful, space, you see these planets in the solar system? Do you really only want to be able to be on that one planet, or do you want to be able to go to different and multiple planets? Odds are you want to be able to go to different and multiple planets. In a space RPG, you're going to want to travel all across the universe. And I think with a new engine, that might be possible. However, with the current engine used to make the Fallout games and the Elder Scrolls games, I don't think it's possible to create an open world space RPG. I mean, it could be done if it's on one planet, but I don't see that happening with the current engine. But that's just my opinion. I could be wrong. But once you think about it, and if Todd Howard has wanted to do this for 20 years, he's going to probably want to do it big and badass. So odds are, if we see Starfield, it will be made probably with the next engine, or a new video game engine that we haven't seen before. That'll be a lot bigger and better. That'll allow us to explore, different planets, go to different planets, explore the solar system. I don't think it would just be set on one planet, some type of space RPG. But I could be wrong. Like I said, it might just be on one planet. But I don't think with the current engine, a space RPG would be good, in my opinion. I think Bethesda Game Studios and Todd Howard would probably wait for the new engine to create Starfield on. And like I said, I think we'll see Starfield in 2021 or 2022. Now, moving on to the next piece of information regarding, in another reason people are saying Starfield will be at E3. And to be honest, when I first read this, I thought, oh, hell yeah, Starfield's going to be at E3. And that was when senior character artist Dennis Mijones posted something on Instagram, somebody commented on it, and then Dennis Mijones responded to it. And that is all right here. Now, this person says, not sure how to feel yet, to be honest, was hoping for a new IP like Starfield, but thanks for your hard work. And Dennis Mijones said, stay tuned. And a bunch of people went crazy about this, saying, oh, look, this senior character artist responded to him, saying, putting stay tuned in a smiley face. That means Starfield is going to be at E3. And this was my original reaction as well. But as I looked at it more and more, you have to understand, at this time, Fallout 76 was already getting hate and negativity because a lot of people were hearing these leaks and rumors that the game was going to be some mass multiplayer online like the Elder Scrolls, and some people were saying, oh, it's going to be a Rust clone online type game, which I don't think it will be. But a lot of people seem to assume this, and this person probably commented in concern, not sure how to feel yet about this Fallout 76. Because keep in mind, this was when all those rumors and speculation was floating around about the game being an MMO or some type of Rust clone. And now we know it's most likely going to be co-op. And we look at this, and it seems Dennis Mijones said stay tuned with a smiley face, because he's like, hey, don't feel bad, because Fallout 76 will be a lot better than these leaks are saying it's going to be. I think that's what more of the stay tuned was, rather than, oh, we're doing a new IP, we're going to show off a new IP at E3. I think this was more of a game creator trying to comfort someone in the gaming community by saying, hey, stay tuned. Don't feel bad about Fallout 76 just yet. And I think that's the reason why he did it. But you could kind of look at it the other way as well, when he says, to be honest, was hoping for a new IP like Starfield, and still Visions replied, stay tuned. You could look at it that way as well, like, hey, look, this game creator said stay tuned, so we might see Starfield, and it would be cool to see Starfield, a open world space RPG. Who wouldn't want that, right? I want it. I'm not saying I don't want it, but I just don't think it's going to happen. And I think he said stay tuned more in a way to comfort a fan who was concerned about this Fallout game, Fallout 76, more than anything. I don't think he really meant anything more by it. And a lot of people were saying, well, back, A while back, Pete Hines tweeted this: "Showcase in 1 month. I'm starting to get excited. We have a lot to show this year. Might be our longest E3 showcase yet. Not sure, but it's packed." And a lot of people took away from this that, oh, E3 is going to be huge this year. They're going to announce 2 titles, or they're going to announce multiple titles. They're going to announce something big like Starfield. But if you look at the date on it, it's May 10th, 2018, which was before Fallout 76 was announced. And I'm pretty sure that's what Pete Hines was referring to when he said, I'm starting to get excited. We have a lot to show you this year. Might be our longest E3 showcase yet. I'm pretty sure he meant, was kind of hinting at Fallout 76. I'm pretty sure it looks like he was hinting at a big surprise, but nobody knew what it was about. And then we got the Fallout 76 teaser trailer not too long ago, about a week ago. So we could kind of tell that he meant Fallout 76 in this tweet, now that we look back on it. So I think people, when they look at this information and are predicting Starfield will be at E3 this year, I think a lot of it is just reach and skepticism. They're breadcrumbs at this point. Another reason I don't think another reason why I don't think Starfield will be at this year's E3 is because there were no leaks and rumors about it. We had plenty of people leaking information about Fallout 76. Hell, we had a guy leak Fallout 76 information more than a year ago before anybody even thought about the game. And then it resurfaced because people went back and looked at it. Why did we see no leaks and rumors regarding Starfield? Wouldn't it make sense that if Starfield was about to be announced, we would see leaks and rumors surrounding that? Yeah, right? Because when Fallout 4 was coming out, we seen leaks and rumors surrounding that from really reliable sources. But nothing about Starfield has been leaked or, rumorized. So that's another reason why I don't think Starfield will be at this year's E3, is because we haven't heard any leaks about it or any rumors about it. Another reason I don't think Starfield will be at this year's E3 is because we are seeing Fallout 76 at this year's E3. Fallout 76 is supposedly a very ambitious game. It's a story-focused game which might have optional co-op. That's what a lot of people are predicting at this point. And that is huge. People have been asking for a co-op Fallout for a long time, and we're finally seeing that. And if we look at how much money Bethesda Game Studios is spending on advertising Fallout 76, getting that big billboard on the side of the Figueroa Hotel, getting big people like the UFC, to kind of sponsor their content as well, we could kind of see that this year's E3 is going to be focused heavily on Fallout 76. If Starfield was to be announced, don't you think they would have teased Starfield over a week ago rather than Fallout 76? Do you think they're just going to spring it on you like a surprise? It wouldn't make sense business-wise for them just to spring it at E3. Because they've already put so much time and effort into building up the hype and spending money on advertising for Fallout 76. Don't you think if it was a big thing like Starfield, they would have given it the same treatment? But they didn't. So that's another reason why I don't think Starfield will be at this year's E3, is solely because of Fallout 76. And how much money Bethesda Game Studios has put into advertising it, and how much work they have put into advertising it. Teaser trailer, big sponsors like the UFC, and getting that big billboard on side of the Figueroa Hotel. And from what we've heard about Fallout 76 through leaks and rumors, it seems like it's going to be a pretty big and ambitious game. So those are, some of the reasons I think Starfield will not be at this year's E3. Another reason I don't think Starfield will be at this year's E3 is because if they announce Fallout 76 and Starfield at the same time, odds are they're going to be released within the same year. Because we already know Todd Howard has said in past interviews he doesn't like making fans wait a long time to play games. He likes to give it to them in the shortest amount of time after they announce it. So if they were to announce Fallout 76 and Starfield at the same time, don't you think Starfield or Fallout 76 would cut into the revenue stream of the other? They would not be able to maximize the revenue stream off one game. We have never seen Bethesda Game Studios announce 2 titles at once, and I highly doubt they'll start doing it now. It just wouldn't make sense. Because if they announce Fallout 76 and Starfield, Fallout 76 is going to take away money from Starfield, and Starfield is going to take away money from Fallout 76. Because if people are going to buy Starfield, some of them aren't going to buy Fallout 76. If some of them are going to buy Fallout 76, they're not going to buy Starfield. And if they don't buy the games, they're not going to buy the DLCs for them. And Bethesda Game Studios will lose money. They would make a lot of money, but I think they would lose money in the end. So I really don't see why Starfield would be announced at this year's E3. I think it would just be a bad business decision for Bethesda Game Studios to do that. And plus, we've never seen 2 major titles from Bethesda Game Studios announced at the same time. We've never seen a Fallout and an Elder Scrolls announced at the same time. So why would we see Fallout and Starfield announced at the same time? It just doesn't make sense. So yeah, that's why I think Starfield will not be at this year's E3. What do you guys think? Do you think Starfield will be at E3? Are you guys convinced Starfield will be at E3? Do you guys think Starfield will not be at E3? What do you guys think? Let me know in the comment section down below. Like I said earlier, I'm not 100% certain on Starfield. I don't know if it's going to 100% be announced or not announced at E3, but my gut is telling me it's not going to be announced. But let me know what you guys think in the comment section down below. Anyways, love each and every single one of you. Hope to see you guys right back here in the next video. But until then, remember to stay freaky. Bye, everyone.